I think Ramadan's important because it's the connection, the spiritual side.
It's just not about not eating and not drinking, is it?
It's not about just that.
Yeah, the FC Peterborough have been very helpful with providing guidelines for us.
Pay the promoter for FC. Coach has got to get the nets out. He's got to do this. It's not an easy job being a grassroots coach. What is your kind of like, your own experience actually with sleep?
When I was younger, I could stay up all night. That was a long time ago. I feel like we need a group hug.
It's very interesting to see. So we're all here today. I'm kind of a footballing capacity. It'd be interesting to know, what does like football mean to you?
Growing up, I was one of 6 or one of 5 at the time, only female, so I grew up around boys who just loved football, played. There wasn't many opportunities for myself at the time, like in the local community, so I found a place that kind of had that and offered it, but again, like female representation just wasn't there at the time, so becoming a coach for me was just a way of giving back to the community, and a way of like providing space for other young females to grow and enjoy football.
Ramadan is almost that bringing the communities together. You bring them in for iftar, or you go into the communities to help one another. And it's not solely just about the fasting element.
It's just not about not eating and not drinking, is it?
It's not about just that. Yeah. What are the obstacles that people may face when they're fasting? I think it's important to know what is it that they're doing and how long is it that they're giving it up? So would anyone like to share on how the fast actually works?
It's a difficult one if I get it wrong.
Typically it runs from sunrise to sunset.
Mm-hmm.
And the Islamic calendar is based on the lunar year.
Yeah.
So it is about 10 or 11 days shorter than
yeah.
the normal year.
Yeah, 11, yeah.
So every year it'll change and the same cycle repeats itself.
I think it's important when we're mentioning key terms here that people do understand what we mean when we say them. So some of the things like iftari, like what is that?
So yeah, Sari is closing your fast.
Yeah.
Iftari is opening your fast.
Yeah.
And Tarawih is the night prayer.
Iftari is essentially when the time of breaking the fast, and that coincides with sunset.
In regards to nutrition, what are the type of things you'll kind of bring to the table?
Yeah, there's a bit of like a misconception in the sense that Ramadan's a bit of a hindrance to like performance and so on, and it links in with the nutrition side. Actually, if you get your nutrition right, there's probably not much to say that there would be a huge kind of difference in performance.
Yeah, the FC Peterborough have been very helpful with providing guidelines for us.
Pay the promoter for FC.
What do you eat at Sari? What do you eat?
I just followed the guideline that FC Peterborough has given me.
He's eating nothing there.
What do you eat?
Try to prioritise having lots of fruits and veg to keep my energy on the pitch, just as the coaches have advised us. And I have to say, on the pitch, the results have been shown. You know, in the first, me and many of the lads, we didn't believe in it, but can't complain, I can be.
Obviously, being really hydrated is important. I know electrolytes might be kind of supportive in that. Just having dates, I think, it's things that will kind of fill you with energy and kind of will break down slowly during the day will probably be the most useful thing for young people to have. And adults as well, just to kind of ensure that they're preserving their energy and using it in the right kind of spaces.
But I think what people need to understand, it's not as difficult as it seems. Yeah, you're not eating and drinking during the day, but it's definitely not a barrier to stop you playing football and
Or anything.
Yeah, and if you are fasting, maybe just tell your coach you're fasting, and I'm sure they'll understand and be willing to make those changes to help you fit in.
Ramadan's obviously a huge part of our faith, and as a Muslim, you know, it's important you kind of do as best as you can to kind of stay in touch with your kind of religion and so on. And in terms of football, I guess football is a big part of life as well, and you kind of, as a hobby, you want to kind of play and so on. So it's important to have a space or have a club that takes that into account and kind of makes things as easy as possible.
Yeah, so like just being heard, being understood.
Yeah.
I think that is the key thing, and having grassroots organisations or coaches being a little bit more educated on this matter, I think it's really important, because at any level of the game, I'm sure you'll all agree, you'll have players from all different backgrounds, different cultures, different faiths, and it's not really one size fits all approach. We're going to have to be really accommodating to, well, what are they doing or what are they believing, and even very similar to Lent almost, like giving up something for them almost fasting as well. So it's not just Ramadan that we need to be conscious about, it's other people from other cultures and other faiths that we need to take into consideration. I'm interested to bring yourself into this conversation as well.
Yeah, I mean, as a coach, over like the last 7 or 8 years, we come up against teams during Ramadan and they ask us, oh my God, are you guys fasting and stuff? But I think the kids at our club, they really show that it's not a barrier. Ramadan shouldn't stop you from playing football. And like sometimes you won't even realise, like we'll be coaching teenagers who are fasting, and if anything, they're more determined and show more hunger during Ramadan towards football, obviously, than they would outside Ramadan. But I mean, 100%, like we want these kids to feel that just because it's Ramadan, it doesn't mean that they have to stop playing football. And if that means we move our training to a weekend or a time that suits their parents to pick them up and drop them off, that's what we'll do. But we don't want it to ever be a barrier for them. They still play during Ramadan. And yeah, I mean, it's worked over the last few years, and every year, because the times change slightly, it gives us as a club a different challenge on how to do our things logistically and stuff. But thankfully, it's all worked out perfectly fine. We've never had to take a break from football or forfeit any games or anything like that.
Yeah.
And the kids have all enjoyed it, and it's not really had any like negative effect on them physically or mentally to fast and play football at the same time.
In regards to the sleeping kind of aspect of it, I mean, I've shared it myself. I don't, which I probably should. So I do be shattered. But luckily for me, my work kind of accommodates for that. So I can just start later in the day, kind of flip my times around. But I know a lot of people aren't fortunate enough to be in positions like that. So what is your kind of like, your own experience actually with sleep, and what would you advise?
When I was younger, I could stay up all night. That was a long time ago. But now it's Dravi, sleep, and then get up early, study time, and then stay up after that, then not go back to bed. And then do the aim to try and read as much Quran and finish Quran and do khatams in between. So try to read as much as I can.
I'm interested to talk on what are the other kind of things Ramadan promotes, or bring you into this one. Looking at behaviours, almost like a moral compass that it plays.
I personally think like how we behave in Ramadan is what we should be doing all year round. And it's a good time to reset and reconnect. But I mean, as a volunteer in Grassroots, obviously we don't get paid for it, but it gives you that feeling of you're doing something for the community. And as a Muslim, that's promoted. And doing it in Ramadan, like every good deed you do in Ramadan is multiplied. And when you coach in Ramadan, you sometimes should think to yourself, this is even more beneficial that I'm doing it while I'm fasting, because you're getting more reward for it.
As I said, it's a journey of self-improvement for one. And also I think sharing Ramadan with everyone around you, especially in like a team environment, is really important to make the most of it. Not only for you, but for also your teammates, whether they're Muslim or they're not.
It's important about these little things of, when you're with your colleagues or with your players, is there any adaptations you make with that? Because if you're working with maybe, multicultural society and different people in different places, how do you accommodate someone where dressing room, Grassroots game, speakers are on, music's blasting? You probably won't have that in your environment, but if that was an environment you was in, as a coach, how do you then make those adaptations to accommodate for your players?
In terms of loud changing rooms and so on, it's actually funny you kind of mentioned that, because I play for our first team, and I'm probably one of a couple of people who actually fast. So our change room is quite kind of diverse in that sense. So in terms of a match day, this actually happened last Ramadan, where usually someone will have a playlist, you get the music going and whatever, and someone actually just pointed out, oh, look, he's fasting, and then they've kind of just stopped the music. And for that game, they've actually just stopped the music. But I'm like, guys, you don't have to. If you want the music on, you can play it, it's fine. But funnily enough, they actually kind of stopped it, which I thought was really nice of them. And I guess it just kind of comes back to the education side, that they know that Ramadan's a special time for a Muslim, and they're willing to kind of maybe compromise on their kind of match day routines, and just to kind of allow me to maybe connect a bit more with Ramadan, which is really nice. Not saying that that's what I kind of need them to do or want them to do, but they're doing that because they've got an understanding of what it is and what it kind of means to me as a person. So
No, I think it's so important in football because football's about be the team, that social kind of cohesion, and you have to understand each other, have to appreciate each other, and how people go about their faiths and what they do. I think it brings a bit more unity, and it's like, well, we're going to do this for you because you're one of us.
Definitely.
Do you know what I mean? And I think it's so important because then when you go out to that field, you're going to fight for each other. There's that
100%,
little bit more. Even for your coaches, you're going to just give that extra little bit more. Is there any like little tips or closing remarks you would like to give on for everyone watching out there?
And I would say if you do have people who are partaking in Ramadan, Muslim friends, don't be afraid to ask them questions.
Yeah, I fully agree with Ibi there. I think it's better to get over, without having any question marks in mind and fully discuss it rather than being any confusion in between the players. And I think, that's really important.
I think like football as a whole is like a sense of belonging, right? Everyone wants to feel like they're part of a community, and I think Ramadan does that. Or a key part of Ramadan is that, like, we come together, we eat together where we can, or we go to Tarawih, we're praying together and we're having conversations about Islam or just conversations in general, and like ensuring that you're learning and you're asking questions, like you said, is really important. And doing that early as well is really important, kind of ensuring that you're knowing and understanding how can I accommodate my players, how can I accommodate my coaches within an organisation. I think is key, and it helps people feel like they belong in a space and they're being thought of and being thought about and considered.
Just asking, is the person okay? Is there anything you need? I think sometimes that gets missed. We just expect we're just supposed to turn up. The coach has got to get the nets out. It's got to do this. It's not an easy job being a grassroots coach, and all the responsibility that comes with it. But for coaches, players, I think the most important thing is just asking them if they're okay, if there's anything that they need, and just look out for just the little signs that actually I might need to intervene here and give some support. So that'd probably be my best advice.
We need a group hug.